What's going on, everybody? I'm Hussein the Brain, and you're tuned into CouchCast, the official podcast of Fantasy Couch. We're live streaming currently right now on our second channel, Fantasy Couch Podcast. It's always so much more fun live, but you can also listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, what have you. We're also here with Mike Mattal. Mike, you were on yesterday on our main channel for hashtag Hack My Line.
Wow, that was honestly a crazy experience. I've never been a co-host on Hack My Line. I've always just been relegated to the chat and like responding and answering questions, but it was way different experience. Like I really felt the love. Like people really enjoyed the episode, The Change. So I'll definitely do it again. I don't know when, but I'm definitely gonna do it again. Let's
Yeah, it
do
was
this.
awesome. Guys, I want to say what's up to Mr. Beast, Jason, Kyle, 310. What's up? Grant is here. Grant's
Okay,
always
guys.
tuning in. Guys, we have a very special episode, very special live stream this week. We're going to dedicate this episode to talk about injuries. We're also going to be talking about our picks for week 10, maybe a little bit of Le'Veon Bell because we kind of have to. But I want to welcome
Have to.
a very special guest. Dr. Raj,
Who
what's
is
up,
it?
man?
Wow.
Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Big Biggs is in the building. What's up? So Dr. Raj is he works with he does physical therapy, also improves athletes' performances. So talk a little bit about what you do and how you kind of got into talking about fantasy football injuries.
Yeah, so essentially, I'm a doctor of physical therapy by trade, but I also do a lot of athletic development, strength training, stuff like that. And, it's always my goal to help kind of general population give them a better understanding of what actually goes into injuries, some of the nuance behind injuries. And from there, I've been playing fantasy football since seventh grade,
Wow.
which is a long time. I'm 32 now, so it's a long,
Wow.
long time. So I was like, yo, like, I could use some of this stuff. I wish I had some of this stuff when I was playing. And so, I just thought, hey, why don't I parlay this into some fantasy football interesting stuff? I wrote a piece on Fournette earlier in the year, and it kind of came to fruition about his hamstring, saying, yo, like it might bug him all year, and it seemed, and it's happened. So I was like, hey, man, like this could be a good opportunity just to give people some insight into injury. That's my site is the Injury Insight. There
And
you go.
I have your
Um,
website up right now, and I'm showing them the Twitter so they can see that in the live stream. So the Injury Insight,
that's yeah.
theinjuryinsight.com. And I can't read much. Like I don't like to read a lot, but I've read a couple of your articles, and it was actually really good and really interesting. Like you said, there's really nothing like this out there. People ask me about injuries, and I'm pretty good at telling them, what the deal is, but I'm purely guessing. So on this show, guys, we actually have an expert who's going to give us a lot more insight on what's going on. I feel like this is very valuable information. And when I was talking to Dr. Raj, I was like, a lot of people want to know what's up, but not a lot of people are giving it. A lot of supply, not a lot of demand. So we have a great show. Before we get into that, I just wanted to a quick thank you to our sponsors, PFF, ProFootballFocus.com. I use this a lot when it comes to fantasy, also with high stakes. If you guys are into that, I know you guys like the lock of the week that me and Mike always get into. I have Elite myself, PFF Elite. I also love the grades, and my favorite is the wide receiver cornerback matchup chart. Lets you know which wide receiver is being defended by which cornerback. PFF Fantasy is awesome, guys. Make sure you guys check it out. So go to profootballfocus.com and prepare to win. So let's jump into some injuries, and we're going to have to talk about Fournette. This is the biggest one. I always said I liked Fournette this year, I'm not going to lie, but I always said he is an injury risk. Would you say that assessment was correct if we go back in the preseason?
I mean, I would say the proof's in the pudding, right? He had that major ankle injury at LSU that was kind of residual. He had a good year, and then now you have that hamstring injury. So he's having some of these. The injury he's having tend to be the ones that tend to repeat as well, especially with the hamstring injury. And so, I mean, it's not a coincidence he's looking like he might actually be healthy after the bye week. because these injuries take time. They take significant time, and if you do come back, I mean, they're very, very twingy. Anyone who's had a hamstring injury, like they don't take it lightly. So I would imagine him coming back after a bye week. If there's any week where I would start him, it's probably this week because he's had those 2 weeks. He's had plenty of weeks to rest, but now he's coming off the bye week. So I would think now he's probably the freshest.
Okay.
Do you think he's more injury prone? The fact that he's like such a oversized back, like he weighs so much, he's like bigger than the typical running back. Do you think that makes him more injury prone because of the extra weight?
You know what? There's no real like association between like someone being more muscular and having more propensity for injury. Like I believe, if I remember with his ankle, I think it was like an impact injury from what I remember. And then a hamstring is just, hamstrings can just be, I mean, they're annoying. Like look at Darren Sproles tweaked his hamstring too, right?
Right.
Not the biggest dude. He's a powerful back, but you know, hamstring injuries just happen. There's a multiple variables. It's hard to really predict who's ever going to get injured just straight out the bat. It's really, really hard to predict that.
Yeah, I use a site called sportsinjurypredictor.com. And yeah, I was about to talk about that. Like, I just feel like his size, I don't know, like kind of like Gronk. I feel like he takes those hits because people don't want to tackle him a certain way.
For that, yeah, I would say like for that reason, I think, you know, Fournette does play a little bit of a physical style. So does Gronk. So in that case, they kind of open themselves up to more punishment, especially with Fournette, right? You have these smaller corners. How do you tackle a big guy? You go after their legs.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So it's higher propensity for a leg injury. And now you have guys getting penalties for going high. That means everyone's going after your legs. Right?
Brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it's a double whammy in that regard. But when it comes to these muscular injuries, the biggest predictor of future injury is previous injury. By far.
Wow.
By far. So whenever, and if anyone has one of these muscular injuries, they have a higher risk for re-injuring themselves.
Okay, that's actually the number one thing I've used, and that's what the site used, is their injury history.
Yeah. So I think for a hamstring injury, within the first 2 months, there's a critical window for, I forgot what the rate, I think it's like over 35% of hamstring injuries reoccur within 2 months, something like that.
Someone's asking for the Twitter, and I will type it in the chat and say it right here. It's at 3CB Performance, guys. So Dr. Raj's Twitter, go ahead and follow him at 3CB Performance. And what about Sproles? I feel like age has got to be a factor with Sproles. He just got injured again literally hours ago at practice. He's good to go this week, and now he's not. He's out this week.
Yeah, honestly, so with hamstring injury specifically, you have a higher chance of as you get older. There's different theories why, but as you get older, you actually do have a higher chance for getting hurt with some of these muscular injuries. So Sproles, remember, one, he's older, and secondly, he's come back from the ACL tear, right?
Yeah, last year it was something like that. It was a serious injury.
I'm pretty sure he tore a ligament in his knee called the ACL. So he's coming back from that as well, and so you're gonna have a lot of compensatory stuff going on when you come back from those major injuries.
Yeah, and what sucks with fantasy wise is now we have it's probably the worst committee in fantasy football with Adams, Clement, who I thought Clement was going to be the number one guy, but it seems like it's kind of Smallwood. I wouldn't want to touch this running back by committee. No way.
Yeah. Thanks for sending him to me.
And you never know who Peterson's going to go with. It's kind of like, you know, he just kind of like feeds the hot hand for that game.
Yeah.
Like, look, I mean, Jamal Adams got it 2 weeks ago. Then, so. And then, I mean, I grew up an Eagles fan, so I know it really well.
Well, hey, dude, the Eagles are a great team. Me and Mike are Niner fans, so I think the Eagles are better.
Yeah, they have the classic Super Bowl hangover this season, though. So
they do. We've had some close games. Yeah, we've had some close games. Like that Titans game was so dumb the way we gave it away.
What about Wentz? So Wentz is obviously, you're an Eagles fan. He's coming off a major ACL injury.
Yeah.
So far this season, he's looked good, but I don't think he's looked as good as he did last season. Is this something like it's going to linger the rest of his career, like kind of, or what?
No, so if I wrote an article on Wentz as well. Like if they did research on every quarterback who's torn an ACL, like 95%, all except one quarterback got back to their level of play after the ACL as before the ACL. So quarterback ACLs don't matter. With the Eagles, it's the offensive line play. That's the big difference this year. Like Lane Johnson had a high ankle sprain. I wrote about that, but that's been killing us on the right tackle. Peters has been in and out of the lineup, which is, he's a really good left tackle. That really hurts us. And then, of course, we lost Ajayi, so the run game hasn't been there.
So you're saying Jimmy G is going to be fine, is what you're saying? Like Jimmy G.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yo, I wrote a piece on him.
Oh, you did? Oh, I gotta read that. Yeah, when we have the best draft party every year, I'll send you that video. We have a podium and all that. I just want to let you know that Jimmy G's name is been talked a lot when we have a draft party. Maybe like every 12 words we hear Jimmy G. Jimmy G.
Yeah. I'm in. Solid quarterback. I picked up Mullins last week, which was nice.
Wow, that you deserve. Like, I don't know, something.
There's two people that started Mullins last week too. That's some bull.
Yeah, are you one of those people?
Wow.
That's, I had no choice though. You know who I have Bortles as my quarterback.
Dude.
Okay,
that's still a congratulations. That's a bold.
Like, you have more faith in him than we did.
I mean, he gets those garbage points, but I was like, I picked up Mullins and I picked up Savage because I knew they picked up both. I know that they had Savage as a backup as well.
Savage?
I don't know. We didn't know who we were going to start until that day, right? Day up.
Wow.
This guy's a real fantasy. He's not like a doctor who's I know how fantasy works, kinda. Okay. Now this dude's like hardcore. This dude's starting.
This guy's way more confident.
He's starting Mullins. Yeah, that's a real fantasy.
Yeah, I bet against the Niners. I bet heavy against the Niners, and did not happen. Right way.
That first week's tough to call too because no one has tape on Mullins either, right?
Nobody.
Yeah, he doesn't even remember he plays quarterback.
That was embarrassing though by the Raiders. That was honestly.
Well, they might get embarrassed again this week. Let's talk about. I want to talk about this backfield. Washington's backfield with Adrian Peterson, Bibbs, and Chris Thompson.
About?
Chris Thompson seems extremely injury prone.
Let's just drop this guy.
I mean, dude, now he has that. The rib injuries are tough, man. Have you ever injured your ribs?
No.
I've cracked a rib and I played soccer with it, and that's painful. And that's soccer. Imagine you're playing football with a rib injury. It's hard to breathe.
It's one of those things.
So he's done basically. Like you would never start him again the rest of the season, probably.
I got to see his progression. He didn't practice this week.
It's not good. It's
bad. I mean, he didn't practice this week. It's easily irritated. You get hit. You get hit. Every time you breathe, your ribs have to expand and close, right?
Right.
So it's painful every single
time. He got
time.
injured last year. The coach says last year he's going to just be a 3-down back because he was kind of having a breakout year last year. So that goes to tell me that he's not built like a workhorse. He's not ready to take that type of 3-down pounding that like Adrian Peterson could. So and then that coupled with these injuries, now I'm seeing man, I don't know about this guy. Like whether it be a few weeks from the road or next year, I'm labeling him injury prone. Would that be safe or do you not really use that term injury prone?
I know. I mean, I use it for me. I look at the specific type of injury, right? Like if someone gets if you get hit by a helmet in a certain point, it doesn't matter how injury resilient or prone you are. Like something's gonna go wrong. That's the thing about football. I'm looking at if you get multiple non-contact type injuries, right? Then it's something's afoot here. Or if you're getting multiple muscle injuries back to back to back, then you become injury prone. But the thing about football is some of these injuries are just someone's hitting you a certain way. If you get if you get hit through the knee in a certain way by that much force, something's gonna tear.
What about Jerick McKinnon? Is he going to bounce back, or is this like very like serious? Like what he
Who's next,
non-contact
Mostert?
injury?
No, I really want to know. I'm joking. No, I really
This
want
is
to know about
important.
this
This is
McKinnon.
important.
I
really
have
need
him
to
in
know
a
about
keeper
this.
league. I need to
This
know
is
as well.
important. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah. I
important.
mean, I have a little bit of exact data for ACL for running backs.
Yeah,
I
need
would,
to know this.
man, that's always the roughest.
He
one to come
injured
back
it
from,
early
to be
though,
honest.
Dude!
Raj. He injured it
Last day,
La-
last
play of
practice.
But non-contact, which makes me believe it's it's not. It's serious. It's not good.
Yeah, I mean, I have a theory on why it's all. I wrote another piece on why non-contact ACL injuries happen.
Ugh.
So with McKinnon, I don't know if y'all remember this, but he was out for a long period of time. He wasn't practicing or playing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then he came back. First practice, he tore it.
Was
And
that the
so-
first practice?
I think it was
he
his
came back?
it was either his first practice or like his first week of being
Yeah, I don't think it
back.
was the
No, it
first.
was
Like
like
he
he
just
came
came
back.
back though. He did just.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
he just
came
came.
back.
It was like the third at most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what you'll see a lot of times is, and this I've actually talked to people,
man.
a lot of team trainers who are in it. They say a lot of these guys, they come back and they're not prepared for the intensity of practice, especially
Yeah.
now. You have a shorter practice length in the off season. People thought it would reduce injury. It hasn't. You know what happens? The coaches are saying, "Yo, we got to put in the same amount of, we got to install the same amount of plays and everything. We're just gonna make him work harder over less practice."
Do you have a?
So you have
Go on.
no, I'm saying you just have a higher intensity, and so
Yeah.
one of the biggest things you'll ever see with injury, it's overuse, doing too much too soon
And
with soft tissue.
Can stretching, like if he stretched more, you think that would have helped him prevent, or it's just a freak accident? Like
Stretching has shown not to do anything.
it's
Okay.
it's a
That's what
knee.
I
It's
thought.
kind of
Yeah.
weird. So why do you think, or am I wrong? It seems like in football and NFL, there's a lot more of these non-contact ACLs. It's like it happened, like Geis and a couple of years ago, Jordy Nelson. Like it happens. So Deshaun Watson took a step in practice. Carson Palmer took a step. Is it because they're like way bigger and just like these type of freak athletes aren't supposed to do these sort of things? Like why are we seeing so much in basketball? It's like just Derrick Rose, and then like like a couple others. Like what? I mean, why is it in football like we see ACLs and these crazy injuries, and also hamstring, I guess.
Well, because man, football involves like high speed cutting, start stop. Even basketball does not involve the amount of force you're putting through your body. It doesn't even matter whether you're a big athlete, small athlete, or not. Football, you're talking about cutting laterally and crazy, and like you're talking about from going straight to lateral quickly. Basketball is more of a gradual transition, right? And so you're putting a lot of force through your knee.
The cutting's way more extreme in football.
Nah, it makes sense. Yeah.
It's
extreme cutting, extreme. I mean, you
cutting.
do see actually, yeah. I mean, you see some in soccer as well. Like the highest. This is nothing to do with fantasy football, but the highest rate of ACL injury is female soccer.
Wow.
That's for there's like multiple reasons for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like a whole nother podcast.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all play fantasy female soccer.
No. So we have a good one. If you need to look this up, this is one that I'm very interested in. Mr. Beast over here in the chat is asking about Sony Michel, and this guy has been, I think, some knee issues stemming from college as well, and now he's had about 2 issues in his NFL career.
Tell him I wrote a piece on him too on my site. Detailed
Okay, I'm
piece.
gonna type this. So the injuryinsight.com, guys.
.com.
Check it out.
And you can click on, and there's a section up top says categories. Click on the NFL. You'll see all the stuff I've written on the NFL players.
There's a categories. Oh, I see injury
see that
insight, and it says NBA, NFL. Is that?
Yeah, there you go. Because
Okay.
I have I do some play analysis stuff too on there.
Okay, wow, yeah. These articles are awesome. Yeah, I read the one about Tyreek Hill and a couple other ones.
The groin strain one. That was interesting too. So Sony Michel, essentially, he had an ACL tear in high school.
Whoa,
and then
I didn't know that.
Yeah, way back. So after any ACL tear, it tends to lead to degeneration of your cartilage. And so, and then he had a knee injury in the the SEC championship game.
Yep.
Right, and so that's another insult to it. So basically, what they said is they scoped it. They did an MRI of his knee, and they said your cartilage is degrading at a rate faster than it should be. So Ajayi had the same issue.
Oh.
You know,
So he was that good though that the Patriots would risk a first round pick knowing that he had these ACL injuries. Like that's pretty crazy to me.
I mean, the average shelf life of a running back is like 3.5 years anyway.
I was just
True.
watching. It's funny. I was watching Stephen Ridley take a carry a couple hours ago for the Steelers, and I was like, would the Belichick take Steve? Be like, oh, Stephen Ridley was good for us. Would he take him back? I'm like, no. He wants a young running back. They're gonna get rid of Michelle probably in a few years. That's just Belichick knows that.
NFL's, yeah, he'll use him and he'll abuse him. That's the NFL.
Yeah. So
that's why Le'Veon ain't playing.
So Michelle, you think would you say not too much concern in the near future, but in Dynasty there's definitely concern.
Definitely. I mean, I drafted Michelle personally, and I got him for a low rate because people were like they were concerned about him. He's always going to have to manage that knee. You know how Ajayi will sit certain games when his knee flares up, like which has happened throughout his career. Like the knee will flare up, but I think for the value you can get him for, I think Michelle, at least for the next 2-3 years, will be a good value for sure. And you've seen him. If you guys have seen him play, he's a great runner.
That's great, yeah.
He has great hands. Yeah. And then it's hard for Belichick to trust rookies, and he trusts them.
He hasn't even reached his potential in the NFL yet. I mean, he's only played a few games.
Well, absolutely not. Yeah, he's still learning out there. And he's been running really well.
Yeah.
But he's gonna. I think he's gonna miss some games a year. You have to factor that into where you draft him, what you bid for him.
Yeah, so I think Michelle in a keeper or dynasty league, I think that's going to be a sell high. Whether you sell high on him later this year or next year, because I mean he's already missed so many games. That's like, to me, that's multiple red flags, and that's just too much risk. And he's a Patriot.
Constant management.
Dalvin Cook. Now he's got the bye week right now. Me and Mike did a podcast where I labeled him. I didn't want to call him a bust, but I said caution, beware. I had this guy going like early round 3, and I had Latavius Murray stealing some carries for him. Obviously, he's talented. Do you think after this bye week, he's pretty much going to get over this injury concern? Like, I don't own Dalvin Cook, but I would be pretty dang worried if I did own Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. So he came back last week, right?
Yes, he had a long run. He looked good, but obviously he's coming off a major
nearly 50-50 split with Latavius last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you would expect that. To me, that's responsible. I wouldn't just throw him back.
Oh yeah, no, I was surprised he even played to some extent.
That's what I'm saying. And he actually clocked the highest running speed of any player in the league this year.
Wow.
Dang, he's got that burst.
Before the injury or like?
No. Last game on that run.
Oh wow, interesting.
It was over 20 miles per hour.
That's great.
So that means he's like, in your eyes, that means he's back. Like
the question with him is always going to be straight line speed isn't an issue, right?
Exactly.
He tore his ACL too. It's going to be the cutting.
The cutting, okay.
Yeah. I mean, ACL, the most stress is when you cut inward off of it.
Mr. Beast has another one. Is that okay, Raj?
Yeah,
this is a good one though. This is actually the biggest one. AJ Green.
Oh yeah. Dude, that's a tough one, man. I try to look into toe injuries are tough. Big toe injuries.
And not much info for you. I mean, you didn't examine him, so there's not that much.
It's always hard to say, but I thought about writing this one. I looked at it. It looked like he like jammed that toe when he was going up to out stretching himself out for that on that slant. He jammed that toe. Man, toe injuries they're tough to deal with. So it just depends on how bad it is. He doesn't have to get surgery, I believe. I think
he does not have to. They just announced that last week. 2 weeks, then so reevaluated.
Yeah, I mean, dude, toe, foot, ankle. Look at Bosa. It's not a toe, but it's a foot and ankle. I wrote something on Bosa too, but I'm just saying, like, foot and ankle stuff in the NFL, because of how much stress and how often your toe and foot is getting like stressed in different and weird positions. I always am a little cautious.
Toe is really bad for positions like running backs and wide receivers, right?
Oh man, yeah. And people, I mean, if you just watch someone's toe during a game and look at what happens, I mean, it's kind of a weird observation to make, but like those toes are getting jammed, you're getting stepped on. So I'm always weary of. I've jammed a toe a few times, and I mean,
JGO's talking about James Conner. We don't know. It's something to do with his head, so we're gonna need more information.
Concussion.
We don't concussion. Mike says, and Roger has a good question.
I didn't see it.
Roger says, so I mean, if we can answer, if not, I think it's a good combo though. Roger says, how does the concussion protocol work? How do they determine how long you're out or if you're okay?
I mean, they asked the player if he's okay. I'm just kidding.
You good to go, son?
I'm good.
I'm good, bro.
I'm good, dude.
So they have now the NFL has actually improved a lot. They have independent person who administers a certain test to the player that gives you indicators of whether that person's concussed or not. If they are, then they take you back and they do a longer test. And so I mean, it's a matter of, and in concussion, the thing is, there's no set timetable. It's all response dependent. I believe most people get back within 2 weeks, but then there are some that are longer. Honestly, in the NFL, like it's probably a week and then you're back. If that, yeah, exactly. So usually, they put you in a dark room for a couple of days. You don't want any kind of input coming in, but then they'll see how you respond. And usually what they'll do is they'll increase someone's activity level, see how the person responds, and then they'll incrementally bring them back. Concussion's a tough one to deal with, but in the NFL, they seem to, it doesn't even seem to be a big deal.
And
if you look at other sports, like Sidney Crosby in the NHL almost missed a whole year. Justin Morneau, he lost his career almost ended because of a concussion, right? NFL, you guys have it every week, and it's like, oh, no big deal.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. So, a weird one that I haven't seen much. I think Josh Allen and Marcus Mariota suffered the same or similar injuries. Their elbow, they say the funny bone, and I'm trying to find the right word. It's like MCL, but it's not. It's whatever the elbow is.
The almost it was like the. Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
For sure. And I'm thinking Mariota looked good last game. The bye weeks are really helping a lot of these players.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, has Josh Allen looked even? Josh Allen might be better because of the injury. Who knows?
Yeah, to help him throw.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. I'm trying to see.
Because a lot of people asking about Corey Davis and Mariota and the Titans, they just look garbage. And then I think this last game against the Cowboys, Mariota looked decent.
They look good, man. Yeah, he had some velocity on his throws. He was comfortable in the pocket.
Mariota knows this is it. Like if he doesn't perform,
he'll end up like Winston.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he'll end up like Winston.
For real.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. It's hard to find.
I'm trying to help you too. Yeah, it's
hard, man. No one releases good information.
I'm on Roto World and I'm trying to click on the older news. Now it's slow.
All I see is that he might have had some tingling into his fourth and fifth fingers, the pinky and the ring finger, which just means he had some nerve irritation.
Oh wow!
But that's not that happens all the time, right? Even if you work at a desk job, I see people all the time who have some nerve irritation. So, I'm trying to see what it was though. Pinch nerve. It's not. It's not great. It's pinch nerve.
Well, whatever. Nobody owns Mariota at least. So that's the truth.
Did we talk about Baldwin?
Oh, Baldwin, yeah.
On air? We need to talk about Baldwin on air, I feel like, because that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because I drafted Baldwin, and obviously I thought he was going to be the old Baldwin, but then he's come back kind of like a shell of his former self. Even though I know the Seahawks are now focused on the run, but I don't know if this is a long-term thing or do you think he'll ever reach his past level of production?
He's not the old Baldwin. He's an old Baldwin now.
He's an old Baldwin.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think coming into the season, correct me if I'm wrong, he had some issues with his right knee that were kind of again, degenerative. And he said that he wasn't going to be 100% throughout the
Yeah.
year. So that's bad scouting by you.
That's already bad. No, he said this after. It was after. Yeah.
Right after you drafted him, he said this.
No one knew about this.
We have to draft early sometimes, Raj, because we film we film the drafts and we have to entertain the people.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So
I would never draft a Baldwin degenerate. I'm just gonna say that right here. Like I would never do that.
So I think his issue is similar to what like Michelle has, some of that cartilage issue. Cartilage is like a cushion in your knee that helps absorb some force. And so I'm thinking he was dealing with that. And then he came back. He sprained a ligament in his left knee, I think, versus the Broncos, which is not good. And then he hurt his groin.
Oh, wow.
Dang.
So he has, it's everything going on, right? Which is difficult to deal with.
So from here on out, would you say like he's probably never going to reach the level that he did when he was like Pro Bowl seasons? Like
not this. I don't. This year,
he's 30.
No,
he's 30 years old.
Forward, like 2-3 years.
He needs an off season. I don't know if he'll ever get back to that.
See, that's what I agree. I don't think he'll ever get back. That's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever get back to that point just because of he has ongoing issues and he has this. Maybe he might have one bounce back year, but man, it's hard to say. I mean, these are what you're talking about, and then we talked about the off air, but like once you hurt one thing, your other side starts compensating. Right? Yeah, it compensates. So these like it's a kinetic chain we call it. So you have these chains. One gets stressed, overstressed, starts to break down. Then you got to go to the other side, right? Like for example, the biggest one with ACL injuries. People who come back from ACL injury, 20% end up tearing the one on the other side as well.
Oh, wow.
20%. Yeah, due to compensation.
Is Adrian Peterson a miracle? Like, what does he do? How is he able to play at this level after all these injuries? Like,
guy's a monster.
Dude, honestly, man, Peterson's comeback kind of ruined it for everyone. Everyone thinks they're Adrian Peterson. Like, he can come back like in 7 months. Like that's not whatever it was, like 8-9 months.
Freak, right?
Yeah, he's a freak. Yeah, you can't.
What he's doing.
You can't compare yourself to like a freak of nature and then think you're going to be the same player. Like man, with ACL injuries, there's side-to-side differences up to 2 years after injury with most people.
Okay, Gronkowski. What about him? He's not himself this year. He's got that robot arm.
So my first year I drafted Gronk, so I was like, let me get him for low. I made a mistake.
Me too. I made a mistake.
So. I mean, he has back issues, the ankles flaring up.
So
he's just too damn big, bro. Like you can't be like he's like Fournette. You can't be that big and just like be not injury prone. Like I feel like it comes with the territory.
He's too big, and he just I don't know.
Kelsey's super durable though, but I've seen Gronk take some crazy.
Gronk's bigger than Kelsey.
I seen him. Yeah, he is. I seen him take some crazy hits by safeties because they don't like. How are you gonna tackle that guy? He's a receiver. He's split out. Like how would you tackle Gronk?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Gronk's usage is all over the field too. So I mean, yeah, it's tough once you're hitting that low back, and people forget Gronk's been to how many Super Bowls? He's played in so many more games than many tight ends. He's been deep into seasons, right? And he's probably drinking in the off season, not letting himself recover. God knows what.
Yeah, they have like an infographic of like the 47 places he visited after the Super Bowl. And
so God knows he's not recovering well. Probably, who knows what he's doing.
He needs to retire. I think he has like. I don't even think he should play next year.
Once Brady, he pretty much said it this season. He said, once Brady retires, I'm gonna retire.
But when is that, Brady? Okay, wait. I have another question because I followed Brady like his like TB12. I know it's a lot about nutrition, but he also differentiates his training because he does like the resistance bands training.
Yeah.
So is he really like is that something that we should be like taking seriously, or is it just like it works for Tom Brady? So that's Tom Brady's.
I mean, it's what we call anecdotal. It works for one person. Does it apply to everyone? We don't know. Right? You know what I mean? I mean, I think there is something to some of these guys like Brady, like LeBron, who like are so committed to their health from day one. LeBron's obviously not football, but like they're even listen, Julius Peppers. People forget. I was watching the game today. Like this dude's still.
He just got like a sack or half a sack or something.
Yeah. So I mean, these guys, if you take care of yourself religiously, you can extend your career The problem is most guys don't do it at the start of their career, and then it's too late by the end of their career.
And someone's.
Right. But do you think there's something to the resistance bands as opposed to the weights? Like, do you think there's like, is that
depends on how you're lifting.
Okay.
Depends on how you're doing it. A lot of people when they're using weights, like they're like powering through stuff. There's there's no control.
Right.
So a band makes you more control, but you can do it with weights as well.
Got it.
It just depends if you know what you're doing.
And they're talking about Dante Foreman. I think this is a what is it? A torn Achilles. I know those are just like you just gotta kind of like wait and see, right? Like it's not like the timetables are different. They vary. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, I think Achilles, from what I think I wrote one on a running back, it's probably like the most difficult injury to return from. I would say.
And that's DeMarcus Cousins too, right, Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say DeMarcus Cousins. Yeah, he definitely has a
DeMarcus
Achilles.
too. Yeah,
he's
does.
Huge. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough.
The difference though, DeMarcus, like he's on the right tee. He doesn't have to do much for that tee. He can chill. He can chill on the perimeter.
Is he gonna be as dominant as he was prior to the injury? That's what I'm concerned about.
So I think from what I remember, the data shows that if that player can make it through their first year back, if they're able to play 2 or more years, they can get back to those pre-injury levels.
Wow.
But that's how long it takes. But I mean, DeMarcus Curry even said it. He's like, DeMarcus, we're not gonna be able to sign him next year.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, that's what he said. DeMarcus went there for the rehab. He's gonna win a ring because that's the only one he'll ever win in his career. And then
wow.
Bull.
Winning a ring is hard. I mean, you got one out of 30 chances.
Not for us. Not for
the not for Warriors.
I remember I went and watched. I flew out to Sacramento to watch. I'm a Laker fan. I'm in from LA.
Congrats.
But then I went to Sacramento to watch the game, Lakers Kings, and I was watching DeMarcus. Like the way he was like acting even when the camera's off of him, he's like trying to dribble the ball through people's legs.
Childish.
Yeah, he's like going to the other team's bench and like trying to like instigate them. I'm like, yo. I don't want this guy anywhere near my team.
I was supposed to train his dogs. He has 2 dogs that are crazy. I'm not like a professional Yeah, and I mean, and you know
dog whisperer.
Yeah, I'm like a very, very amateur dog whisperer. I'm not.
We went to college at Sac State with his manager, actually.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I got some stories.
I remember that guy.
We could talk off air about some stories. I knew someone. who worked PR for them.
Oh God!
Oh wow! Busy body.
She had some interesting stories.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that guy's something else. But hey,
he's on our team.
Yeah, he's gonna get a ring. Hey,
he's gonna get a ring. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Injuries notwithstanding.
So I guess we'll just we'll move on. Raj, if you want to stick on, we're going about like 5 minutes. And anyone else have any questions? You want to head on to the locks of the week? And Raj, if you want to stay on, man, you're welcome to stay on.
Yeah.
Locks of the week, Mike. Who are your locks of the week?
Okay. Wait, does Dr. Raj sports bet? Is this something that Dr. Raj does? Is that okay to ask?
I mean, to an extent. I try to limit stress in my life.
Just
is it legal in your state?
Yeah.
In the same state.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay, great.
He's in LA.
Okay, great. That's awesome. Okay, locks of the week. My lock is Atlanta Falcons -6 at Cleveland Browns. I think they definitely win by at least a touchdown. But, this is kind of feels like it could be a trap game, but I'm confident in Atlanta. Tevin Coleman looked good last week. The Browns are in disarray. We don't.
How is it not -7? That's all. That's just my 2 cents. Like, why not -7? Why?
They're trying to entice you. They're trying to entice you to the Hawks or the Falcons.
It's weird.
Side, so.
It's weird.
It's good. These are the type of things I try to find. They're those type, the less than touch. And then this one, I don't know. This could also be a trap game, but I have to go with the teams, the personnel, and that's Pats -6.5 at Titans. So there's I'm picking 2 road teams to win, but I think the offenses are powerful enough to at least win by 1 touchdown. So that's where I'm going.
Michelle,
risky,
Gronk, etc. are trending in the right. Like, I think Michelle's gonna play. Gronk, I don't know.
Gronk, we don't
Gronk's
know.
I don't talk about.
Yeah, Gronk, we
So
don't know.
Michelle's gonna play, which is gonna be really good because you got Cordell.
What about
Patterson.
Rex Burkhead? Can we talk about Rex
Is he gonna
Burkhead?
play the
Is he
last 3
coming
games?
back? What's going on? What's going on?
Well, he's on. Is he
He's
on
on IR,
Yeah,
designated
he's
to
on IR,
return.
but he's eligible to come
Yeah,
back.
what was it? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Oh, hold on. Let me look at this. I just want to.
Okay, while you guys are looking, my lock of the week is Chargers at Raiders under 50. There's just several ways this can go under 50. One way it can go over 50 is if the Chargers score about 44 points, which can happen. But I do see this going under. I see a lot of Melvin Gordon. I absolutely love Eckler, too, as a sneaky start this game. So let's go under 50, Chargers, Raiders. And what do we have on the Burkhead?
Okay, so Burkhead had a neck injury that put him on from injured reserve after week 3, but he's practicing this week.
Yeah, he returned to
so
practice.
he should be ready to go in week 11. Is this someone we can trust, Doc?
I mean, it's always a question of whether. I mean, he seems to be pacing for it if he's practicing, right?
Yeah.
The
Does this
question is,
hurt
well,
Sony Michelle now? Is Sony Michelle now?
It's going to depend on, for me, it's going to depend on what the Pats have to do with their division and if they're playing for the number 1 seed or not.
Wow, that's true. You have to think about all these factors when it comes to the Patriots.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. That late in the season, was Belichick going to? I mean, I think if they've locked it up, he might put Burkhead in there to see what he has. But then again, he might trust him. Who knows? It's hard to say with him.
You never know Bellatrix. You never know.
I don't know his pattern.
And that's the answer, Mr. Beast, right now, is what you guys just said. What would Burkhead's return do to Michelle's value? We don't know. It's going to be more Bellatrix. He's going to be playing more of the Bellatrix game if Burkhead comes back. And it's going to be like, oh, it's James White this week. No, you're wrong. Oh, no. We don't know. Maybe he'll use Burkhead a little bit. Maybe Cordell Patterson's still taking snaps at running back. We don't know with this guy, Belichick. We've never known for 5 years. I've learned my lesson in 2016.
I should have listened to you. Hussein warned me. He tried to warn me before the season. Don't draft any Patriots. Like, what do you mean? Chris Hogan was good. Burkhead was good. And then look what happened. Gronk was good. You
never know, man. I mean, he might even try to manage Michelle's knee late in the year and be like, yo, let me have him healthy.
No, definitely. Yeah, definitely. So why that triggered in me is like a spidey sense when I'm reading the draft board is way too many names have Patriots underneath them. Cordell Patterson got drafted in our league and then he got dropped. And that was actually like one of the better picks. Patriots D, Patriots kicker, Patriots quarterback, all 3 Patriots running backs, Hogan, Edelman. Like it just didn't stop. And I was like, there's 11,
Josh Gordon.
which he wasn't a Patriot, but yeah, 11 Patriots. I was like, dude, someone, like more than one person is going to be dead wrong. So it's like, just watch out. And he played the most tricks. This is the worst Patriots drafting ever for fantasy because now we got Josh Gordon, Gronk's injured, all the running backs sucked, Hogan sucked, Edelman was suspended.
Brady's the sit of the league.
We have no idea what's going on with the Patriots this year at all. It's been the worst absolutely in the history of fantasy.
Yeah, but they're still winning.
Oh, they're
still winning.
Their team's doing good, but we're not from Boston. We care about our fantasy.
No, I'm just saying. Somehow they figure out a way.
They know how to win. They're winners. Like we can't take that away. They're winners. They know how to win. Like
fantasy-wise, it sucked. I mean, I thought Michelle's been their best player when he was playing.
Oh yeah, he's
great.
Fantasy-wise, right? He was great.
Dr. Raj, are you on Facebook by any chance, or no, or?
I mean, I'm there as myself. I don't want to release.
Oh no, don't. No, I just no. This is just for the Facebook group. If anybody wanted to join, we have a Facebook group.
Oh yeah. I have a Facebook. My bad, I'm tripping. I have a Facebook group, which is the injury.
Oh, you do have a group as well. All right, so if you want to join our group, I'm definitely joining that one. Our group is called Fantasy Couch Fam, and then yours is the same as the website, the Injury Insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll probably see a group pop up. Sports injury, I think it said.
Okay. Yeah, so we will join your group. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, Facebook groups are kind of cool. I don't use Facebook that much, but the groups I feel like is a good function to communicate with our fans.
Yeah, great. It's more community. I'll throw stuff up. I'll throw anything I release up on there. So.
Okay. Yeah, well, is there anything else? Any other injury we need to know of? Anything, or anything you want to say?
I think I plugged everything, man. I did more plugging. I did a lot of plugging.
Dude,
he's the plug, Dr. Raj.
Dr. Raj.
What else? I don't know. I'm trying to think. That's all we got. Did we talk about Sproles?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. So any hamstring, just in general, any hamstring or groin injury, if you ever see it, be very wary of it going forward.
What about Devontae Freeman? Is he done? He's done, right? Like the rest of the year? Is it just?
He's done. He's done.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Achilles. Good. I like that.
The only dude who might come back with the ACL, what's his name? Chargers, Hunter Henry, right?
Oh my!
Yeah, he was drafted in Dynasty. Well, he got injured really early. It was the mini camp.
Yeah.
So the spring.
Exactly. So he's a possibility. He could be a possible snipe late.
Wow, he wasn't even on my radar. That's incredible. I forgot he even existed.
I just heard about it recently. He might come back.
I kind of kind of on the topic of Dynasty. I know he might come back this year, but Geis, I think Geis should be should be good next year. Yeah. Adrian Peterson's probably going to retire, be close to that, or I don't know if he's going to be on that team next year.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
All right, everybody, go ahead and follow Dr. Raj on Twitter. That's the number one spot to hit him up, at 3CB Performance. Go ahead and subscribe to both our YouTube channels, Fantasy Couch Podcast. And you can also get the podcast audio on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. I'm Hussein the Brain for Dr. Raj and Mike Mittal, signing off.